You guys ready to start?
Yeah.
Hello! Welcome to the Spicy Mean Boys podcast. I'm John.
I'm Carl.
And I'm Josh.
And welcome to the Spicy Mean Boys podcast. The spiciest thing in this room, which is not hard to do. How have you guys been?
We've been chilling, you know.
I'm all right.
Finally recovered from
little
Tech
tired.
Week?
This Wednesday is bringing me down a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm here.
It's finally like a day off, you know, I feel.
Yeah, we're finally about to get that week before break, and this was
Right.
the best
I
time.
have the breath.
Because we can't get in here during the break. That would make so much of these easy. We could have, if we could, we could have
You do
recorded a
multiple?
whole week. Yeah.
Right.
And, then we wouldn't have to worry about recording for a bit.
Easter plans?
You know, the usual skip mass.
I know Good Friday's a thing, but
Yeah.
What's
Easter.
Good Friday?
I think it's when you stop doing Lent.
I think that's what it is. I'm not sure.
That's the end of Lent. I have no idea.
I'm sure.
I don't Lent.
I haven't done Lent for a long time.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've done
I gave up doing Lent.
That's what I gave up. I gave
I
up
gave
Lent
up
for
Lent
Lent.
for Lent.
I'll give up something occasionally, but this year I totally forgot that it started. I'm like, oh, I'm too late.
No one lets me in on these things. No one tells me.
Yeah, I'm not religious. My family is not religious. We
Right,
are.
Yeah, no.
We are we're Catholic.
But you don't go to church and stuff.
Yeah, not as often as we should. Grandma, yes. Grandma, I'm pretty sure is disappointed in my Catholic
Grandma
spirit.
always, for
Grandpappy.
sure. That's how a lot of people are in America. You know, a lot of people are like just those.
Yeah, I'm not Catholic, but
I'm
my
religious,
grandma
but
is.
They're really. It's like a low. I think there's like statistics or something. It's like a low church attendance rate, but a really high religion rate or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, you said you had something about John Cena to talk about.
Oh, so. Yeah, I do.
Is this a story?
I have a little thing to get off my chest about
Is
this
this
whole
a story?
situation.
I actually know the beginning of the story.
Wait, can
So-
I introduce because you ended up there because of me?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we need to say something. We were going to record this podcast, what was it, 2 weeks ago on a Monday?
Probably.
Yeah. So, Josh's mom has to call him in to help her at work.
Yeah, and then I end up going to see Monday Night Raw right after that.
Yeah. You did actually go to work.
Well, I went to help her a little bit, and then I went to Monday Night
I have
Raw.
a story. And originally I was the one who was going to Monday Night Raw.
Okay. Because I thought, your mom was just nice and surprised you with Raw, but apparently she did. I just didn't know you.
No,
actually
this
did
is
have
the
to work.
story. This is the story. This is the story. So originally the podcast was intended for that day, right?
Yes.
So that was already planned for after school. Rowan approaches me the day before. He says, "You want to go to Monday Night Raw?" And I was like, "Monday Night Raw, like wrestling Monday Night Raw?" And he was like, "Yeah, like what other Monday Night Raw?" And I was like, I don't know. I was like excited and I wanted to go, but I was kind of not feeling it. I was like tired. I don't know. I wasn't vibing with it. And I told Josh when we were at school the next day. Me and Rowan were talking about in the hallway, and Josh heard, and he was like, "You guys are going to Monday Night Raw?" And Josh was really excited.
And the thing was, I hadn't watched anything wrestling in years before that. And then all of a sudden, one day out of the blue, it was that Sunday, I just was like, screw it. And I just watched 3 different Royal Rumbles, and I was into it. I got sucked in from the beginning after that. So then I hear them talking about Monday Night Raw, and I'm like, whoa.
Right, and I wasn't feeling it really, so I just forfeited my ticket to Monday Night Raw. Well, what happened is
that's
Rowan's mom had won tickets to Monday Night Raw, front row basically tickets to Monday Night Raw, right at the ring. And so Rowan was super excited. So I was just Josh seems more excited than I was about it. So I figured I'd let him go in my place, do whatever.
Yeah. So Rowan picks me up after I'm done helping my mom work, right? We get there. It's magical, all right? It's like Disney, but for wrestling.
For 45-year-old men
it's
with beards and Duck Dynasty t-shirts.
Yeah, it's like the Disney on Ice, but it's wrestling for older people.
Right.
And I mean, we're ringside, so we're seeing all these people just jump on top of each other. And they said on the news that John Cena was supposed to be there. And I was getting really excited. Because I'm like, oh, it's John Cena, dude.
It's John Cena.
Everyone knows John Cena.
If you have never even been into wrestling, you know who John Cena is.
John Cena's one of those faces, one of those really
He's just one of those
universally
dogs,
recognizable faces.
Who's interrupting the podcast? Somebody's knocking.
John Cena comes out, all right? This is like halfway through the show. And he's trying to get a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which is like in 2
Right,
weeks.
that's like
That's coming up. So then all of a sudden, he like takes his off his hat and he just throws it. And he throws it right to the ringside where I'm at. And I like grab the hat and I just hold on to it, all right? And I'm holding onto this hat for like 20 seconds and there's this like guy in front of me who's like kind of like drinking a lot and he's like, throw it back at him, dude, throw it back, throw the hat back at him, you don't deserve it. And I was like, nah, bro, like I'm not gonna throw it
keep
back
the
at him.
hat,
He's
right?
monologuing.
He threw
right
it,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. He is in the zone. You do not
So-
interrupt him.
I pull the hat back in for reassurance, like to know that I have the hat now. This is
Yeah,
like 25
like a safety
seconds.
thing, like a hug kind of thing?
This is like a 25
Like the-
second delay after I catch the hat.
Like the football where you like hold it in.
Right. I'm
Make sure it's
going to
safe.
do that. And all of a sudden, this old lady who was sitting in front of me the whole night grabs the hat and just goes, and like yanks it out of my hands and then turns around and sits down and then hands the hat over to her husband.
And you were just
I was
Was her
baffled.
husband the guy who was telling you to throw it back? Or
No.
Just random.
This is different. This is a different
It was a random
storyline.
guy that was like to her right, and then her husband was to her left. This is this whole debacle. So yeah, I lost my John Cena hat.
And you made a tweet. I remember that. You were like, let's get John Cena into my DMs and
I'm
get
trying to
myself a new
campaign.
hat.
It was a struggle.
for his hat back.
I'm trying to get a free John Cena hat signed with his signature.
I
but
would have been devastated. I
Oh,
don't even know what I
yeah,
would've
that
done.
sucks.
My
Especially
reaction-
since it was a random lady.
It seems
who
like
took
you were
it.
like pretty chill about it too.
the
'cause I
fact
would've
that she had like the audacity to like
The
grab the
audacity
hat.
Right,
to
and
do
you're
it.
like not that. It's like you're a minor. You're like 16. She just
I'm
turned around.
16
She
and
turned
I'm
around. And she had to really like look you in the face and just grab it from you.
even if I'm 22,
Right,
I
even it
still
doesn't
don't
matter
think
what
it's an
age you are.
appropriate age to take something out of my hand.
to just
Yeah,
boom.
that's kind of crappy. So you know what? Anybody who decides to watch this, go find his tweet where he asks John Cena to slide into his DMs and get it to happen.
Joshua Van __ with 2 N's.
Is that your at?
Yeah, that's my aunt.
That's right.
Maybe next time, maybe I should like add to the thing on the TV all our Twitter tags.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, like handles.
You want to make a Twitch too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could maybe live stream this one day.
What about this week? Anything
Oh,
going on?
I've
Any
got
guns on?
some good stories. I think Microsoft needs to stay away from me because this Sunday.
Are you getting hunted?
I finessed them for a second time.
Finesse them with what?
Okay,
Finish them how?
so I told you guys the story, but I haven't told it on the podcast. Back in January, December of 2017, 2018, GameStop was doing a deal where you got 3 months of gold free if you bought 3 months. And long story short, the guy who was doing the transaction messed up and gave me the wrong card. So I had to go back and get a new one.
Right.
And if you don't know how GameStop works with these like codes and such, they print it on your receipt. So he gave me the new card, which was the first 3 months. Then he handed me the old receipt with the 3 months of that transaction. Then he handed me the new receipt from getting the new card with another 3 months. So I basically finessed 6 months of free gold from Microsoft.
6 months of free gold.
Dude.
Wait, so
But this is where the story continues on why they should stay away from me. This previous Sunday, there's a Microsoft store in Somerset Mall.
100%.
Right.
And this Sunday, they were doing a tournament for Dragon Ball Fighters. You signed up online, you showed up at 12, and you fight. And I didn't know what the prize was at the time, but when I got there, they said, oh, it's $60 free of Microsoft credit and a month free on the Game Pass.
Right.
So I show up there with my dad because I need a legal guardian for some reason. And it's 12 o'clock. Tournament's supposed to start. Nobody else is around. A couple minutes pass, and the dude goes, you know what? If nobody else shows up by 12:30, you win by default because everybody else is disqualified. So for the next 30 minutes, I'm practicing. Somebody there? Practicing, checking, and then 12:30 hits, And he goes, congrats, you win. Hands me a bag of Microsoft free swag. So it's like glasses, shirts, a hat, and then $60, like three
That's cool.
$20 gift cards and a free month on the Game
I don't think you
Pass.
told me that.
Dang.
I meant
That's
to tell you, but you two weren't.
That's literally like a steal. That's
You
like
Yes.
seriously just
I walked
broke
in.
Microsoft for a hot minute.
Yeah. So I walked in, took $60 and left. And the best part about it was, just as the dude was handing me my swag bag, and he told me, oh, I have to wait for my manager to get the cards. A dude walks up and goes, is this where the tournament's at? I registered online, and I saw, like, he went over, he's like, oh yeah, the tournament's over. This guy won. The tournament was at 12. The site I signed up on said it was 1 o'clock. No, it was at 12. So, and he couldn't do anything about it. He already handed me my prize.
You should have waited to camp out to see how many people showed up at 1
Oh.
to fight this tournament, and then
I should have, but then like my dad and I had stuff to do that day.
that would have been funny.
You
It
say
would have
some-
been funny.
You say
Yes.
something about Game Pass?
Yeah. They gave you a free month.
Oh, listen. Game Pass is like, I think. Here's what I think.
Sounds like you got words.
I have a lot of words. So Game Pass is like, I think it's. I don't know if it's $5 or $10. I think it might be $10
It's
a month.
$10 a month.
Yeah, $10 a month. So I have it right now, and I've had it for like a couple of months. And it started because they gave me like a free trial. I started playing Dead Island, and I wanted to finish Dead Island because I like hadn't played the game in a long time, and I was like, I'll pay for another month. So I've been paying for like 3-4 months maybe, right? And I saw this like really well put together like sort of like video essay on YouTube about like Xbox and what Microsoft, like the direction they've taken their platform, and it's pretty like well known that like Xbox exclusives are sort of a lot lesser than PlayStation exclusives. I mean, for like the whole generation, really, PlayStation
Yeah.
has been, you know, Uncharted and The Last of Us and Last of Us Remastered.
And then what have we really
like, their
had?
big
Halo, which hasn't
right.
even been good.
The
that-
Master Chief Collection was like bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good. Like it wasn't well received. And a lot of our like the exclusives are they're exclusives of the platform,
Yeah.
but Microsoft does the Play Anywhere thing.
Yeah.
The-
In
yeah.
State of Decay 2. Oh yeah, buy that special edition. You don't get the game though.
And
That is 100% true, by the way.
what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. So they have this Play Anywhere thing that makes all of their exclusives sort of not exclusive. Like you
exclusive.
can play it on PC too, and
Yeah, it's just not accessible.
I don't
via
know. They
Steam.
just had a weak sort of lineup of exclusive games this generation.
Yeah.
But Game Pass is basically every major like Xbox, you know, like Microsoft associated
Yeah.
exclusive comes out first day on Game Pass.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
So
I've
I'm talking.
keyed in.
So even though the generation, it's late in the generation, you have things like the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro now, and not to say those are moving on because it's the same platform, but it's later in the generation. It's basically known that PlayStation is one. They sold like a crazy amount of units. The exclusives, though they're not as good on Microsoft's side, the fact that you get access to them like that, and it's basically like just the whole market, and Game Pass is really like inclusive. It's like it's a bunch of different types of games, all types of genres. I think that's a really heavy swinging factor. Like all the things they do with games with Gold and with Game Pass, and the deals they do, all like the spring.
Xbox spring sale stuff.
Oh yeah, Xbox with. Well, I don't remember what I'd already said before.
Yeah,
I don't remember which
you were
part
just
of my.
talking about like Sea of Thieves and like all the games and stuff, but I think it kind of it was about to segue into like different games that were coming out.
My synopsis.
We were talking
was
about
that-
Nintendo Game of the Year.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
My synopsis was that Games Pass is like, you know, it's just like Games Pass, spring sale, like everything Xbox does is just, you know, whatever. It's just really good at being like marketable. Like it's really consumer friendly. Like it's not about Xbox's success anymore. They're just concerned. They've moved on. Like it's mature enough as a platform to just really care about the consumer. To
Yeah.
really care about like a gamer. You know.
Yeah. So I'd say we just take what we just had right there and just continue on with it. And I'll just say this. If you notice that the audio didn't really match up, that's because we had a technical difficulty. And that's why mysterious red cups appeared.
Hey man,
The studio works in weird ways.
but I'm pretty excited. I think I'm gonna be getting Far Cry 5 soon.
I've been looking into that. I had Blood Dragon on my computer.
I didn't have Blood Dragon. You play any other Far Cry game?
I played Far Cry 3 all the way through.
I played Far Cry 3 all the way through.
That was a good
Don't
game.
even. Yeah.
Is Far Cry 3 on Game Pass?
I don't know.
I might need to.
I also played a little bit of Far Cry Primal, and I really enjoyed it. Even though that was.
I heard Far Cry Primal was just.
It's
got
the
old. Though.
I feel like that's the weirdest entry.
I heard it got old
because that's like
because it was just spears and
it was spears.
there wasn't
and
enough variety.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
But I mean, Far Cry 5. I mean, they're taking a way different setting than they usually do.
Yeah, it's
usually
weird. 'Cause it's not on an island.
Yeah, usually it's in a valley. Actually, they call it like that's what they call it.
Hope Valley or whatever.
Well, no, it's still Hope County, but it's like in between like two mountains.
Yeah.
So like, and what's really different is that it's not just one villain like it was in like Far Cry 3 with Bois.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
It takes so the main villain
It's
is
like a
yeah.
cult.
Well, yeah, it is like a whole cult, like a religious following, and it's led by a guy named Joseph Seed. Well, Joseph Seed has like these brothers and one sister who also own territories in like the Hope County, and you're playing as like a deputy who has to like take down one region, then you have to take down another region, then that region, and then hopefully you'll gather enough people that are trying to fight against this religion, like this
To
cult,
sweep everybody else.
to go after.
Yeah,
the
it's like a
main
game
guy.
mechanic. Like it's like I like that because it's like a living world. You know, it's one of those games where what you do actually affects what's going on.
And I mean, there's so many. This is like the most open world Far Cry has ever been because it's not like kind of like you have to follow the main quest right now or else you can't do anything else. You could do side missions before you even tackled most of the regular story.
Well, yeah, because I thought it was structured in the 3 regions, sort of that the siblings have.
Yeah.
And you can do just quests. You could do a whole region, one of the siblings' regions, without ever going into the other ones. And you
Yeah.
could do all of their quests and complete their whole storyline, and then go into the next one, go to the next one. I think it's
Well-
once you've completed all of them that.
Well, also you could also do. So there are main like in each of the regions there are 3 different like big. They call them outposts.
Oh yeah. Outpost.
So each like the cult that's called Project Eden's Gate, they're trying to get these big giant territories in each of the regions. So in one of them, they're trying to get a prison that's in Hope County, and then there's another one that's like a little town, and I think the other one's like a giant farm or something. And people are defending at them, and you have to come in like on a car or something, and you have to like take out all of the
yeah, they have that.
troops
In
that they have, and then
Blood
you'll
Dragon.
own that little area, and then you can start branching out and doing all those other quests, and then you can finally take down that person, and then hopefully you can get all the way up to earning enough. They're called resistance points. That's just enough like points to be able to fight Joseph Seed.
Yeah.
They
So
also
I've been seeing all the hype for it, and it
Yeah.
looks good.
They have this like arcade too.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they have, like,
they,
a map.
well, they always have arcade, but this is like
They have like a full-on map editor.
this is like high octane for Far Cry because Far Cry always does this. Like Far Cry always, it's one of those games that has the map editor and has like sort of a community thing around it. But this is really serious. It looks like it's not serious, but it's like the step up from what they were used to be doing.
Yeah.
Like it's a really like all of the assets that the developers use are basically in the map editor.
Yeah.
It's almost endless. I've seen a bunch of crazy community-made things already, and I know they like
Yeah, they
they
made the whole-
promote maps on.
There's one in there.
The community
They
store?
made the actual like the original house from Resident Evil out of the map editor.
Yeah, I love
I mean, you can't play
creativity.
any of it, but you can just like walk around the property of like the old Resident
Mm-hmm.
Evil house from like the very beginning.
That's what I love about community-centered games, where they will tell you about cool stuff like they did, like the Resident Evil Mansion. One game that I've been enjoying, A Hat in Time, which was this indie platformer that, like, it got funded in 2014 and then went through like a 3-year development until it finally released. And they recently just had a modding competition with a $1,000 prize. Like, if you make the best mod, and they always like take a day and they'll say like, "Oh, this is a really cool mod. Somebody already put Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey in there. You can capture people,
Oh, that's cool.
and some of the mods for them are just crazy."
Yeah.
So that's a really cool thing to see. Like, not only is it a community that's working to make a lot of cool stuff, but the people who made the game noticing that community.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Far Cry is doing that's good is that they're always kind of, I mean, it's the same sort of like plot, like
Same format.
Yeah, it's the same
format.
format.
Same format, but changing it.
Yeah, they're kind of tweaking it, but it still feels like a Far Cry game.
It's the classic syndrome of if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right,
but
but
tweak it or improve it.
Yeah.
But I think one of the games that's doing that sort of, if it's not broke, don't fix it, stuff like that, is Call of Duty. They're not doing it right.
No.
I don't think.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it's like a Call of Duty formula. It's
Is
like
there-
Far Cry is like that. You know,
Yeah.
I just think this one's sort of, I mean, yeah, it's all the Far Cry things, but this one I think is good. I think it's good. I think the location change is good. I think that's cool. That was
Yeah.
one of the first things that stuck out to me. The location change is good. The new like editor things they're doing, the community things. I think that is one of the most important things about a video game because that's
Yeah.
what keeps it going. That's why multiplayer games survive for so long. Like why there's a community around things like that is because that map editor that will live forever. People can
Right.
make new things, and there will
Tons of
always be
things.
new content for that game.
Yeah.
As long as there's interest from a
Yeah,
community.
that's like Super Mario Maker in that sense.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where that game is still going on. When did that release? Like 2015?
2015.
Yeah, that game, it's 2018.
No, think people still play World at War Zombies custom maps.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I actually have a funny story about Mario Maker. This is a story about my sister's ex-boyfriend and how I used to torture him with this game. So, it was around Christmas of when Mario Maker released. And I had played it a couple of times before. My friend would bring it over and say, oh, let's make some levels for each other.
Right.
And since it didn't store information on the disc, like, oh, there's all your things you have unlocked, all we could do were like the basic pipes, Goombas, Koopas, all that. And I spent a lot of time making this small, short course, but I made it as difficult as possible. You had a pipe right at the beginning that was dropping a Koopa on you, so if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't know. Christmas comes around, I got it for Christmas, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember made this one. And we'll call him Frank, because I don't know if he wants to be said on the podcast.
Right.
Frank. He's like, yo, let me try. And that was like the best half an hour of my life, just watching him lose his crap on every little thing that I put, like, a Koopa comes out of this pipe. Question mark block? Oh, you think it's a mushroom? No, it's a Goomba. Or no, it was a Koopa because it would fall into a pit and kill him. And he finally gets to the end, and he's like, please never do that again. I'm like, oh no, this is only the beginning of my friend. I don't need to tell the rest of the story, but there's one last course I want to talk about. Rolling gauntlet of everything. There's spikes, there's saw blades and whatnot, and then two Bowsers stacked on top of each other at the end, blocking the exit. Finally beats it, and he's like, I think we can move on now. I'm like, okay, cool. You want to see the easy way to beat it? And he's like, oh no. What I did was, at the beginning, I had two hidden blocks. One right here with the vine that would shoot up to the sky, and one to get up to the vine.
Yeah.
You climb up. There's a question block and a door. In the question block, there's a star. The door drops you right onto Bowser and right onto the exit. And he goes, I feel like that is the biggest middle finger I've ever received.
Frank.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing in the world is watching people who don't play video games or like parents or like older people play
And
video games.
he was an average gamer. He just
Right.
didn't play Mario a lot.
No, but I mean like
Watching-
you know like you ever like
they
tried
play-
to like hand your dad like a controller like your mom?
I know.
I've done that.
My dad has watched me, like when we played like Overwatch, he would listen to me like talking about like teamwork and stuff like that. And then he would just kind of like, I didn't even hear him sometimes. He would just come in and sit down and like watch. And then he was like, that was cool. And I'd like freaked out and I would turn around because it would be like something like with like a tracer pulse bomb or like a a soldier triple kill. And now he just did that with Fortnite. Like we were playing and like I ended up getting like a nice little triple kill on like a squad and he was like, whoa. It's just like some parents, they like hear all the kids like saying video games and all that and then they think it's like ruining it to some degree. Like but like, there's still a lot of different things that video games offer.
Yeah.
I feel.
As you guys know, I have PlayStation VR.
Right.
So one of my end goals was to at least get my dad to. I knew he wasn't going to be able to play any games. I had already handed him a controller once and tried to play Borderlands. So it was a first-person shooter. Nothing happened.
Right. Those are always the worst ones. They have no idea what they're doing. It's
they're like
it's like so hard for them to like imagine.
comprehend.
Yeah, like comprehend that like this is like your image. Just like imagine you're that person.
And
right.
thankfully the PlayStation VR comes with a demo disc of maybe 18 different demos. And there's one for what was later Resident Evil 7. And it has you set in the kitchen of the small guest house from the beginning hour demo. And you're sitting there, you're tied up, and a dude would come up to you and cut you free, and then he'd get stabbed, blah, blah, blah. I sat my dad down. I'm like, okay, I'm going to introduce you to VR. So I started off really easily. I did the PlayStation VR Worlds where it was the water adventure.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, let's move on to this. And then it just said kitchen, so he didn't know what was going on. Doesn't even flinch. A dude gets stabbed right in front of him and doesn't even flinch. He's like, oh, okay.
I've always wanted to. Ever since like that became like ever since VR had its resurgence and its comeuppance, I don't think I've ever tried it. I think I've been around. I know I've been around other people trying it because sometimes they have like the VR installations like a mall or like they had one at Best Buy one time I think. But I still like I find it so hard to like relate to someone who's done it and like understand that feeling. Like I don't really understand like what it's like to be in the headset. So like I never get that. Like I have no connection there.
Yeah. It's fairly, you got to get used to it. And it really helps with immersion of some games. Like, of course, there are the games made for it, but take a game like Resident Evil 7, where you can play it outside of VR. What's it like inside? They really did a nice job on the VR mode. I didn't even play it normally.
Right.
I said, oh, okay, Resident Evil 7's out. I want to try it. I instantly got I rented a PS4 copy because I knew my VR would work with it. It was like one of the best decisions I could have made because it adds a lot to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're actually there, and I used to always have the TV on the background for the noise. I'm plugging in headphones now.
Right.
It feels really cool. The only thing that I have to say bad about PlayStation VR is that you can't turn around.
Is it tethered? Or is it with the cameras?
It's tethered, but you only have one camera in front of you, where Vive has like the two cameras at the corners.
Yeah.
PSVR, if you remember the old PlayStation Move, which was PlayStation's answer to motion controls.
Oh, yeah.
It basically uses that kind of mechanic where it would look for the light instead of looking for a sensor. And it works well enough when you're looking at the camera, but say you turn around too far, it's going to start glitching out because it doesn't know where you are.
Yeah, it won't even pick it up.
Yeah.
It's all optical.
Oh, yeah. Skyrim in VR.
That sounds like... Well, I mean, I played Skyrim for probably...
I did the intro.
Crazy.
And Alduin is so massive next to you. Like, because I was at the segment where he's blowing fire down the one path and you're right next to him.
Yeah, you're in the village.
You just look up and there's a giant dragon blowing fire.
Yeah, I always imagined that it would like help a lot with perspectives. Well, because like it seems pretty obvious to me that like the best application for stuff like that is horror games. That like what could be more perfect for playing something. I played Outlast.
Oh, yeah.
a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago.
I couldn't even.
You couldn't even make it into the asylum.
I walked into the asylum. I like climbed up all the scaffolding, jumped in, and then I looked around, looked through the night vision. I was like, not today. And then I clicked off, and I haven't played it since. And it's still downloaded.
I always like talked myself up. I really thought I was like, oh, I could play. I remember like watching PewDiePie play horror games and like always being like Amnesia, Darkest Descent, like all the old horror games, being like,
Amnesia was the best.
oh, that's like,
That's
nothing.
scary.
That's nothing. And I played Outlast, and I played probably halfway through Outlast, maybe. And in Outlast, you spend a lot of time in the basement area of the asylum. And I just couldn't do it anymore. Like I got to a certain point where I was so tired, I couldn't handle playing.
Where did I make it? I made it to the part where he stabbed me, or where the one guy, like I was unlocking the door, the dude stabs you and throws you down into wherever, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. It didn't help that I was playing in like pitch blackness. The only light was the light bar in the screen.
Right, I have to turn like a light. And when I play a horror, when I was playing Outlast.
Do you start thinking that like sometimes there's someone in the house? With
No,
you?
yes, yeah, because when I was
I
playing
remember that
Outlast
story
in
when
my
we
headset.
recorded episode 0 because we lost a recording back when we were just like audio podcast. We lost a recording, but you were saying something about how you thought somebody was living up in your attic.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just like sometimes there'd be like Doritos that go missing, and I know my parents don't eat the Doritos. Like I'm the only one eating the Doritos.
And you're
I know
an
I'm
only
not,
child.
I know I'm not sleepwalking at like 2:30 and getting like some snacks, or else my parents would be telling me about that.
Yeah.
This is what I was gonna say. These are my headphones, and the backs of the Astros come off, so you can like take these off, and it opens up the headphones, so the sound is kind of more open, and basically, I'll take these off sometimes, just because it might not seem like that big of a deal, but even this weight makes a lot of difference in like how long you can wear the headphones, like the comfortability.
Yeah.
And it changes the sound, sort of. Like the sound doesn't bounce back at you as much. It's more open-ended, and it sounds a little bit more like you're in a room when you have them off. So when I was playing Outlast, I had them off. And I remember, like, because, I mean, I live in the basement, so I can hear people walking up around me. Like, and it's late at night. It's probably, like, 11. And I don't know. Maybe it's my dog, or, like, it might have been, like, my mom. I don't know. But I have a really distinct memory of, like, playing the game and, like, having the headphones off. And you know when you play a video game and you can hear the noise from the video game, you can hear outside noise, and you can't tell the difference. Like, you can't tell what is from your headset and what's not. Well, that was happening to me because I was, like, going, like, I was in the water, like, I hear water dripping, and then I was hearing, like, pitter-patter, you know? And that, I feel like it was my dog, but I don't know if it was my dog, because, like, enemies in the game kind of sound like that. Like, they kind of, like run, they, like, run up to you.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, I just, like, I heard that, and I'm in a rolling chair.
Yeah.
And I heard the pitter-patter, and just, just out of sheer reaction, like, my whole body, like, kind of, like, went back. I like threw myself out of the chair and just like ate it all over the floor, and was like laying on the ground, just like wondering why I was playing this video game. And I was like, around the time I stopped playing, I was like, this is not worth it. Like I can't.
Yeah, this is not a good.
Now I kind of want to go
for my
home and
health.
play it.
Yeah, it makes you want to play it when you talk about
I did
it.
that. I did that one late one night. I was doing something on my computer. I mean, you mean the unspecified liquid that we are drinking?
Oh, right.
The Coke.
Yeah. Well, that implies we're drinking trash on our show.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't need to be edited
We'll
out.
fix it. In
What's
post.
Coke? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You want some more?
Anyway,
Pig.
I was
Give it to me.
Seriously, have.
I was my mom's boyfriend. He has a basement which I have completely claimed for myself. Because it's a finished basement with like a kitchen and such down there.
Do you have a kitchenette?
He does, and and we don't live with him, so.
You're just jacking it from him.
Yo, yeah. Whenever we hang out at his house, I'm like, all right, see ya. And it's so official that he called it the lair once, which I call it the lair. And I'm like, you sealed it. You realize what you've done, right? This is now the lair. It's now my property. But anyway, I was down there doing something on my computer, and I thought there was a shadow of somebody moving past, like in front of where I was sitting. And I like shut the computer. I'm like, what happened. And all that's there is like my dog walking into his bed that I have down there.
Did I tell you when there was a bird in my basement once? This was like, when was Call of Duty Ghosts the game?
Oh god, that was like
2013.
2013.
2013.
2013, Call of Duty Ghosts, then
so it was
Black
2014
Ops. No, Call of Duty Ghosts, then Advanced Warfare.
So it was 2014, because it was still like.
Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, this is
It
how
was
we keep our
2014.
timelines. We
Black
remember
Ops
when
3,
games came
Infinite
out.
Warfare. So that's 4 years?
Yeah, this was
4 years ago.
2014.
2014.
So I'm playing with a couple of my buds. It's like, I think it might have been spring break.
Don't do it.
We're
Oh,
playing.
I was hoping you would. You idiot!
All right, yeah.
So we're playing. All right, we're playing on Stonehaven, the big giant like castle map.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
I'm
about.
going
Yeah.
in. All right,
Right.
I'm going off.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I hear like this. Like I hear that in my basement, and I turn around. I'm like, what's that? I don't see anything.
And it was like this. That's what you said?
Yeah, it was like the flap of
Like
a
the-
bird.
the
flap
flap of
bird
wings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, did you just hear that? Like, I'm talking on my Xbox, and they're like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, and then I hear it again, and this time it's like way louder. Like this bird was probably like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yo, we just heard that. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what that is. The third time it happens, this was like maybe 20 minutes later, I hear it, I hear it start, it goes whoosh, and then I turn, and there's a bird flying right across my basement. And you know my basement, it's like long and narrow.
Oh, yeah.
It just like flies through my basement and into my laundry room. And then I like scream like a little girl, and I like grab my bat, and I tried to hit the bird, so I missed. And then he flew back over behind like the bar that I have in my basement, and I couldn't find him. So I like ran upstairs like as fast as I could.
Right, and you're like, there's
And I
a
was
reminds
like,
me
Dad,
bro, there's a bird.
thank God my dad was there. And I was like,
It's a bird-
Dad,
there's a bird in
there's
there,
a
it knows what's
bird
good."
in the basement. And he's like, how? And I said, I don't know.
Guys, there's a bird in there. It knows what's good.
Dude, getting this bird out took hours. We had to line sheets, like shower curtains and stuff.
So it
we
had
had
a
to make
path.
a path. We had to open up the garage. We had to like open up windows, and then we had to
killed
start making noise. Like we were banging pans.
Yeah.
We looked like we were doing a rain dance outside trying to get this bird
Yeah.
back out.
It was weird because that reminded me of a story. When we were younger, my sister and I, we would always hang out downstairs, like not in our rooms. We had one bathroom near our kitchen, and we would hear something in the vent. So it'd like, ding, 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 ding. Like it wasn't normal vent noises.
Like a rat or something?
No, it was a bird.
A bird was in your vents.
A bird was in our vents, and we don't know how. I don't even know how to this day how. So
Trust me, I still don't know how that bird
Yeah.
got in my house.
my sister and I kept going to our dad like, there's something in that vent. And we were like, maybe she was 10, I was 8. I don't remember when this was. But I just remember going, there's a bird in that vent, or there's something in that vent. And he's like, no, there's nothing. Finally, I think we got on his nerves enough to where he's like, fine, I'll check it. Go upstairs just in case. So we go upstairs. He takes off the vent. I don't know what happened then, but he comes back up and he's like, all right, it's all fine. And we're like, what was it? Oh, there was a bird in the vent. And we were super confused. I still don't know to this day how that bird got in that vent.
How did the bird get in your basement?
I don't know. It's not like we had like a door for a bird to
They're
enter
magical
in.
creatures.
You know, a squirrel tries to break into my house like every Christmas. It's not the same squirrel. One time it happened.
But they just are attracted.
It was the year I got my Game Boy Advance, all right? A squirrel got into my house on Christmas morning.
Did I ever tell you about the one time? Oh, sorry, you were telling the story, but I'll continue later. Thanks, Mr. Olston. We have our behind the curtain.
So my parents are like cooking up, like we're gonna have lunch. We're having people over for Christmas.
As you do.
And then my mom hears this like clawing at the door in my back door.
And you have dogs, or did you not have any of your
We didn't have
dogs?
any dogs at this time. I'm
so
chilling
this
in
is
my
like a
room.
long time ago.
This was like I was 7,
Oh.
and I was playing on my Game Boy. I'm playing like Mario Kart or something, and all of a sudden I hear is there a squirrel trying to get into our house? And my dad goes, no, he's trying to get out of the house. And my mom screams so loud. And then she runs to my door and says, don't open this, and slams it. I hear brooms, I hear shoes, I hear screaming, I hear chairs moving. Apparently my mom opens up the front door. She like opens up all these doors. Somehow the squirrel gets into my family room, which is the exact opposite place where it needs to be.
Yeah.
She's like opening up doors and all this other stuff, and she's like trying to shoo at it. But squirrels are really smart, so they're like trying to run all over. And then apparently he runs at the door, but the door wasn't open, so he hit the door and then like ran into another room. It took like 20 minutes, but
But the squirrel left.
Yeah.
You ever seen the video of Ozzy Osbourne eating the bat?
What?
what?
You've never seen the video? Ozzy Osbourne, there's a video. Well, no, I don't know if there's a video, but I think there is. There's a video. There's a video of Ozzy Osbourne like on stage, like at a concert, and
He just
he
ate a
thought
bat?
no, a bat flew up on stage and was like flying around on stage,
And he just ate it?
and he thought somebody threw like a toy bat up there. It was like throwing stuff at him. He thought someone was like throwing stuff at him. So the bat landed and he picked up off the ground and like ripped its head off like with his mouth because he thought it was like a rubber bat.
That's a
but
crazy
he just
train, dude.
Did it, and
That's
he was like
a crazy train.
And he went through with it. He had to go through with it.
No, yeah, I remember because my brother told me this story like a million times, and I saw something on Reddit, like it was like TB, and it was like a video of Ozzy Osbourne like ripping the bat's head off and like eating it because it just flies up on stage, just like and he like rips the head off. But that's, I don't know, it reminded me of the.
Could you imagine being that bat?
Oh,
Could you
God.
imagine being Ozzy Osbourne
Just
and
some
realizing that
random-
you just murdered that you just literally
innocent
just
bat.
decapitated a bat with
Yeah.
your teeth, like with your front teeth?
Yeah. Your story reminded me. I was walking in the halls. I think this was like freshman year, and I see something move towards the locker, and I'm like, oh, it's probably nothing, just my eyes playing tricks on me. And then at the top of the locker is a squirrel.
In here?
In Cousino, which is the school we're at. It's just there, like walking around and stuff, and it was super weird.
You know,
It-
squirrels are in the top 10 of the most smartest animals.
Yeah. So there's teachers trying
They can,
to
like,
shoo
solve
it out
puzzles
towards
really
like
easily.
shoo it out towards like the side
It's really
doors
funny.
and whatnot. It was just a crazy day, and I'm like, there's a squirrel in Cousino. Okay, move on to my next class.
Yeah, squirrels are number 10 of the most like smartest animals on the
Every time
planet.
someone says like something
Crows
about,
and
like,
ravens are number 8.
every time,
Yeah, that makes
dude,
sense.
every time somebody says something about like an octopus solving a puzzle, like I always think about like puzzles, like little like when he said like a squirrel solving a puzzle, I just imagine like a table and like squirrels sitting at the table, like
No,
like,
but
like,
this
with
is
their
how I
hands-
solve the
Chimpanzees
Rubik's
can do
Cube.
that. They can take like 4-piece
Really?
jigsaw puzzles and they're like,
Damn, that's impressive.
no, but like ravens and crows in Japan, they'll like take like nuts and they'll go on top of like phone lines and they'll drop them in front of like intersections and then they'll have cars drive over them and then they'll just pick them up and eat it.
Yeah, crows
like
are actually.
like crack the nuts for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
They just use us.
That's incredible.
And
Yeah.
then, like,
Yeah, literally.
there's
that-
also this video
That's
of
amazing.
some like crows, like I don't even know, it's somewhere snowy, but this guy was ice fishing and he just left a fishing pole there and the fishing pole like caught a fish and a crow swooped in and pulled the fish out with the fishing hook and then just took the fish and ran.
Have you seen the thing on Twitter? And it's like it's like a mom, and it's these pictures, and the caption is like, someone was gardening, like she was gardening, she had her dog out with her, and an eagle like dive bombed her dog, like dive bombed
Oh,
her
I
garden,
saw that!
and she just like caught it. Like, she
The
just
dog
turned-
or the
No,
eagle?
the eagle.
The
She
eagle.
just
Oh my
turned
God,
around and
dude.
just grabbed it, and there's like a
it's
picture.
the best face.
Yeah, there's a picture of her holding it. They're just holding an eagle by the neck, and it's like the eagle's like.
What
And
happened?
it's like imagine, it's like the captain's like, imagine being this eagle, and it's like the eagle like terrifying. The lady's standing there like with the eagle and then her dog like by her side.
Oh, that's amazing. It reminded me. This guy rescued a crow, or it was a crow or a raven, but I think it was a crow because he named it Russell Crowe. So it got stuck in his fence, like a hole in his fence, got stuck. So he healed it for a couple days, let it free, and then a whole bunch of them came back because they're smart enough to realize this is the person that helped us.
Right.
Like, how crazy is that? That birds know who people are.
I love when they do. I love when animals use. like they adapt to us. Like they do something because of us. Like, well, I mean, it's kind of sad. Like it's like sad when like when the deer gets like hit by a car like on the side of a road and dies. But it's like cool when like squirrels like use the power lines and like cross the
like.
thing.
What happened?
Oh no! Oh, the thing went into.
fell asleep.
It fell asleep.
We're
there
back.
we go. We're back. We
Can I
are.
just do anything on here and we'll see it? Oh,
Yeah.
there's something.
What did you do?
Touching it.
I'm
Stop
canceling.
touching it.
Hold on. Okay.
We're good,
Stop.
we're good.
Can I,
Stop.
like,
Stop
do-
messing with it. I gotta go down and do some checking. All right, we're good.
No, so
What is this? What is this button?
Don't
touch
no.
the button.
Okay.
Stop.
Is it a joystick?
No, it's
touching
nothing.
stuff.
It's literally a drawer. I'm not
it's
gonna throw that. That's
I
a
was-
bad idea.
What is this
speaking about
button?
dogs,
It's a door
pigs
handle.
are smarter than dogs. Did you know that?
I knew that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've
That
been
does
on
make
that. You ever
sense.
seen Sweet Life on deck and the girl has the pig on deck? It's like Bailey. Its name's like Bailey. And
No,
just,
Bailey
like,
was the name of the character.
Bailey is
Jr..
the name of the character. Bailey is
Oh,
the pig.
Bailey Jr.
Bailey and Bailey Jr.
I don't know.
Bailey Jr.
I thought it was like Porkers or something like that.
I don't know. I just remember
Man, Sweet Life on Deck was a good show.
good times.
Eh.
What?
hated
I
Sweet Life
no,
on
I
Deck.
liked Sweet Life obviously more than I like Sweet Life on Deck.
Yeah.
I miss that guy.
Did you hear
the
they fired
janitor dude.
Dan Schneider from Nickelodeon? The guy who made like Drake and Yeah.
Butch Hartman left.
yeah, the guy who made like iCarly,
Who's Butch
Drake and
Hartman?
Josh, Victorious. He's fired.
Who's Butch Hartman?
He's the guy that
Made-
drew all the Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tough Puppy.
He's the artist of all those characters.
those
Man,
are
I
like
remember.
he has a
days.
YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, he does.
Those are good old days. That's like my
Future
nostalgia
me,
days.
who's editing this, please put that link in the description. Give him free revenue from complete nobodies.
This is
Totally.
a disgustingly loud gulp.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All the noises you've been making today are like really,
Dude.
like that bird noise, the thing you do to the hands, like it really like that's. I immediately thought of like a bird. I was like, that's impressive.
All right.
Like, Scarface is coming to Netflix. And then Shawshank's leaving.
I'm so
And so is Apollo 13.
I'm
Apollo
so glad I
13's
finally
coming or
like
leaving?
sat
Leaving.
down and watched Shawshank because it had always been on my watch list. Because my parents were always
Dude,
like,
no one knows
watch
what that movie is when I
Shawshank.
talk about
No,
it.
so I
Oh,
was-
It's infamous.
there's Olston.
One of the best movies of all time.
Yes,
Oh, no,
Olston,
absolutely.
your wife is here. with
It's
your
like I
child.
think it's like it has like the highest IMDb score of all time.
What?
Yeah,
Shawshank
Shawshank.
Oh, dude, seriously, I was watching a Watch Mojo video. We'll put them in the description too.
No, they don't get revenue.
But
Screw Watch
it was
Mojo.
like top 10 things leaving and coming to Netflix in April 2018. And then they were like, Shawshank's leaving, and I was like, I have to watch it. Like, I have to watch
You
it
watch
again.
it again?
Yeah.
I watched it again. It was 10:30 at night. Like, this was
That
last
movie
night.
makes
Oh,
me
yeah,
cry
like,
like
you
a
gotta-
baby. That
that's-
movie makes me cry like
That's
a
like
baby.
one of the movies that's a movie
need
I
to-
can't stop watching until I finish it. So I was there and like,
just like inspiring.
Yeah, my family were just like, you gotta sit down one night and watch the movie, and I'm like, okay, I did. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
and
We should get together one night soon and just like watch it.
It's leaving April 1st, so
I have it on Blu-ray.
Um,
Don't try me.
we
I'm free
I was
tomorrow
watching
night.
it. I was watching it, and then like the ending happened, and then they hugged, and I was like, "How
Like,
about that?"
the original
and then I
bromance.
just started like breaking down. It's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, "This can't be happening. I have to go to school in a couple hours."
No, because it was really unsuccessful when it came. I forget. It was like the same year. It didn't win
it
Best
was
Picture.
No, it was the same
It
year
was
as
the same year as
Pulp
something else.
Fiction and Forrest Gump.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
that's
arguably,
Forrest Gump won
the
Best Picture.
best year in movies.
Yeah, Forrest Gump.
Kind of like how we just had like one of the best years in games. Like you didn't know who. Like there was a great list of games
Yeah.
between like
There you
PUBG, Breath of the Wild, Odyssey. You didn't know who was gonna win.
Right.
Well, you had a like inkling that it was probably Breath of the Wild. But
Fortnite's taken over.
oh yeah,
PUBG.
Fortnite. I'm surprised it's making a rise, or at least.
You know,
not
it makes
surprised.
125 million a month just in frickin'
in money, like
in money.
microtransaction,
Yeah,
microtransactions.
Yeah, 125 million a month.
that's a cash.
You don't
that's
have to
literally-
pay any
It's
money
like a
to play
cash
that game.
cow. I'm not surprised at all that it's successful. Like not even in the slightest does it really surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of expected it actually. I expected once. I
think
knew because it was the first one. It was the first realized like working battle royale game on console. Like there was that other one. I'm trying to think. Oh my god, it was the crappy one. It's sort of like YouTubers played it for a while. The Calling.
The
Yeah.
culling, yeah.
That was out, but not that wasn't free.
Like I think
Yeah, I
There's
think that's what
also-
happened. Like the three things that helped it on consoles, free
Yeah.
and easy to run.
Yeah.
Because like with PUBG, you need like a decent computer. Fortnite,
Yeah.
potato.
PUBG,
yeah.
PUBG doesn't even work on Xbox, basically. I
heard that.
It's like
There's like, and there's people say that like PUBG, you need to have like better skills to play. I feel like that more in sort of a tactics, but
Yeah.
Fortnite, you have to like do so many things quick on your feet. Like you have
Yeah.
to build really fast. You have to switch to your guns really fast. You have to push really fast. You have to do all these different things
Yeah.
in such like a short amount of time.
There's a lot
Or, like,
going on.
Also, the storm's coming in. You need to like pick up guns real quick from the people you just killed, and then you have to like make that snap decision of like, what guns am I taking? What am I not taking? What am I leaving
It's
behind?
not that one is more skilled than the other. It's just they're different skill sets.
I feel like there's a lot more chaos going on in Fortnite, especially with all the new guns that they're
One of
adding
the
in.
reasons-
All
I
the
think-
guns, all the
I mean,
building
they're
mechanics.
they're adding in a guided missile launcher.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Which is gonna be awesome.
I think one of the reasons it's more successful than PUBG right now is because it's sort of. I mean, like that's how all of culture is now. People have shorter attention spans. They have.
It's also
It's more. It's
It's
more
better
action.
looking.
It's
Yeah, it's
faster.
better
it just,
looking to me.
It happens. Yeah, it's like easy on the eye. Like it's a more mass appeal thing.
Yeah.
Like it appeals to more people because it's faster paced. It's more immediately gratifying. You don't have to wait as long. I mean, PUBG games can be like
Yeah.
30, 40 minutes sometimes. A Fortnite game probably the longest it's ever gone is maybe 20 minutes, and that's like a long Fortnite game. It's like a fit. No,
No.
because think how long it takes for the circles to close.
Blitz games usually the side game mode. The top time that a game will last on that is 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, the game will end because of the circle closing in.
Oh, it'll like
So-
Well,
officially
yeah,
like
and
close.
20
most
minutes, I
Fortnite
think,
games
is 20
don't
minutes.
end-
I think is the shortest time that a game could end. But I also think, well, I mean, yeah, 20 to 25 minutes, maybe 30. That's the rough.
That would be a 30-minute Fortnite game. Would be like
That would be like
crazy long.
No one's killing each other for a really long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
The circle's getting really small.
that's like the smallest circle.
But PUBG could go on for 45 minutes.
Oh yeah,
PUBG goes on for
I
really
once saw a match where there's in
It's
one
just
part of the
because
map.
the maps are so big in PUBG.
Yeah. There's a lot of
and then
contrast.
there's also there was the match that I saw. There was the bunkers with the tunnels,
Yeah.
and the final circle was closing in, and it's like the smallest it can be before like it's like all right, this has gone on long enough, and just closes it all together. Like there's nothing you're safe from. There was people on top of the bunker and people in the bunker. So the circle had to completely close before somebody lost.
And then at that point, it was basically whoever
It was
had
over.
the most, whoever
Yeah.
had the most health was going to win that.
Yeah, whoever had the
wild.
most health before the circle closed.
And usually the PUBG, like the first circle in PUBG is like huge.
No,
Fort-
it's enormous.
Yeah, Fortnite's gets like almost half gone.
Yeah, it really condenses
Yeah.
it because by the time it's really not. By the time the first circle shrinks in Fortnite, there's 60 people left, and it depends
Not
on what
even
game mode.
sometimes.
If you're playing solos, people die like that wherever
Yeah,
you go. It's
especially
like,
because of tilted towers, because you'll have a third of the lobby drop tilted towers.
and then somebody
and
will take
then-
out the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, like, a third of the people will drop tilted towers, and then in a matter of maybe 4.5 minutes, so the first circle's coming in, because you have 3 minutes to get prepared and then run to the next circle if you're not there, or you're just staying there. 3.5 minutes, and then you have another, like, minute waiting. Tilted is probably gone already, and that's 35 people that are already dead by the time. That's just in Tilted, and then all the other places, you're probably left with, like, 30 people left in the game at that point.
Yeah.
there's a lot of reasons for its success, but those are really that's it. Like it's just more. It's a mass appeal thing. Like I mean, and you don't have to be that good at it. You just
Yeah,
pick it up,
no.
and you can just
You
pick
can
it up
learn
and do
pretty
whatever.
quickly too,
And you can just
especially if
pick
you
up
watch
and drop
streamers
it
like
whenever you
Ninja and
want.
Myth. If
Yeah,
you watch
and there's a
Ninja and
there's a
Myth-
big media thing around. There's a big like online community around Fortnite, the streaming thing.
Yeah.
Ninja's getting
Ninja gets
Like
paid
half
like,
a
he
million
gets
a month.
half a million
Ninja's
a month.
a Fortnite streamer. He streams Fortnite on Twitch, and he gets What do you say? He gets paid.
$500,000 a month
Half a
from
million
just
a month.
donations and all
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
things
Twitch
like
and
that.
he is
subs.
a good role model. I want to say
Yeah,
that.
he's-
He's a good internet role model. If I had to like pick
Yeah, he's a
two
good-
people to be like the good internet role model and the bad internet role model, Ninja is like a really good one, and then who do you think the bad one is?
Logan Paul.
Yep. I can't wait.
That didn't even
until,
come to my mind at all.
I can't wait until KSI
KSI
destroys
I
him.
am buying tickets. I'm going to the UK, dude.
Did they live stream the
They're
first fight?
YouTube
Did they
living it.
Oh, I hate YouTube Live. Can I go out and say that YouTube just needs to stop trying to
Be
Twitch?
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube needs to stop trying to like take over live stream because it doesn't. Nobody watches YouTube Live.
Oh.
Literally no one.
I mean, the only
No,
reason
there were 6
I would
million
watch.
people that watched the Joe Weller fight live on YouTube Live.
Okay, but that's just because it was the Joe Well. Like they were like, that's the only time those people have ever used YouTube Live, basically.
I mean, but also the Logan Paul KSI fight. Not that many people knew
But
who
think about how
Joe Weller
successful
was.
Twitch is compared to. There's
Oh,
just
yeah.
too much of a streaming
Yeah.
base on
Twitch is
for
definitely
them to
the
take
best.
anything
Yeah.
away from YouTube Live, or for YouTube Live to take anything.
You know,
from
Myth lives in Michigan.
Twitch. Myth lives in Michigan.
The-
I thought Ninja lived in Michigan.
No, he lives in Illinois.
It's like something. Oh, okay.
Myth lives in Michigan. He lives in Dearborn.
Really?
Charlie's friend went to high school with him. He like knows him.
Charlie's our friend who's in college.
He like knows him and went to high
Really?
school.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like you don't know these. Like you'll know them online, and then they'll say like, "Oh,
Yeah, the
they
world's
live
a lot,
here."
Yeah, the world's a lot smaller than you think.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
That's crazy,
I
man.
like stuff like that.
Video games are crazy, dude.
Yeah. The fact that like you can think people are all the way across the world.
It's a joke.
I had a stupid thought when I was young. I used to think that all the CPUs were actual players. So like I would be playing Mario Kart.
That
I'm like,
confused me too.
I'm
yeah.
like, these got to be other players because
Right.
I had the idea of multiplayer in my head,
Right.
but I just couldn't like think, oh, this is something that the game is doing.
You know,
Yeah,
in,
the
in Black
game
Ops
is-
1, they had this thing called combat training, and you would play, and basically like half of the enemy team would be real people, and half of the enemy team would be
Bots.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be bots. So I never really realized I was playing combat training, and I'd play combat training because that's probably what when Black Ops 1 came out, I was like 10. So I'd be playing combat training and be destroying. And I was just confused. I was like, well, I'm not like I wasn't this good at the game, and I was playing against I was playing like against the CPU like the whole time
Right.
because like the idea is that they match like the skill level of what you're supposed to be playing against. It's for people like just start playing the game, but I was playing it for like
A long
weeks,
time.
and I
Yeah.
had no idea that I was doing anything different from regular multiplayer. Good days.
Well, hopefully Call of Duty doesn't mess up.
I don't think. I think.
Oh, when are they gonna fix their symbol? Remember, because they were doing Roman numerals. They had the
Oh,
1, 2.
the Black Ops 4. I'm talking about
yeah.
the Modern Warfare 2 remastered.
Oh,
that's apparently
I
come
heard
out.
that's like not getting multiplayer.
It's not.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
it
what's the
isn't?
point?
What's yeah?
Where's
Like, what's the
longe-
point?
No one bought Modern Warfare Remastered because I
For
mean a
the-
couple people wanted Modern Warfare Remastered like the campaign, but everyone wanted to play.
Did
the
Modern
multiplayer.
Warfare 2 even have a good that good of a campaign?
I think they had good campaigns.
I think it was my favorite Modern Warfare campaign.
It's my favorite. I don't like. I
But
like.
I
I
don't
always like the
think-
Black Ops 1. And
Black Ops 1
2.
is my favorite
Black Ops
campaign
1 is my
that I've
favorite campaign too.
But like, I don't know why. Especially Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. If you're gonna remaster any Call of Duty
That's like
multiplayer, that's the one you
That's
want
like
to.
that's like a whole generation of kids like played Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. Like that's all the kids who are like in college right now, and like even some people who graduated from college. That's like a whole generation. That it was like a culture. Call of Duty has been like a culture throughout the like
especially
the late 2000s.
especially built on Modern Warfare 2, and even Black Ops 2 was kind of like that newer generation of Call of Duty players that like took off. But now like those were like the
even
two,
those people
were,
don't
like,
play Call of Duty anymore. Really.
Yeah.
Like there's
And that
very
was very
few.
recent.
Their fan base retention is like terrible because I play Call of Duty to the moon and back, but I won't play it.
No.
And I've never really. I wanted to play World at War, or not
World
World
War
War II, World War II, and I realized that I just didn't really want it. I wasn't really interested in playing a World War II game anymore. I was just tired.
I mean, it was really fun, but I think there was just a lot lacking, especially.
it didn't seem like it. Like there was nothing new.
Well, apparently I heard
I
that
feel like.
they were going to be making a futuristic game again, but
This
then when
year?
they saw the backlash that
Advanced?
Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare were facing, they basically stopped production on their futuristic game, and then they started like halfway through their development cycle, developing a.
So it's a rush.
It was a rushed product because they didn't even have leaderboards. Like they didn't have their supply drop system was way out of whack. The maps were there weren't any maps. There were 9 maps, and there were 9 core multiplayer maps with 3
War maps.
War maps. They count war maps as multiplayer, but a lot of people don't because it's a whole different game mode
Yeah.
that takes a lot
You can only
longer.
play war.
Right. So the maps got really dry, and then the camo, the end camo, the chrome camo, like the last camo that you get was really like lackluster than any other camo that you would get.
So it was just unrewarding. There
It was
wasn't a
very
lot of
unrewarding and it
content.
was kind of like stale.
Yeah, it was like it was not a $60 game.
I don't remember if this was an actual tweet I saw, but somebody was getting mad like, oh, they're getting supply drops on Normandy Beach. How crazy is that? I'm like,
Yeah.
supply drops existed, you fool.
Yeah, but I think like
I don't think they should be in the game.
I don't
At all.
I
just
don't think
it's such
the
a
way they
stupid
do
system.
supply drops isn't working. That it never has worked. Their
It
supply
it
drop
never
system,
has worked, but there's ways you could do supply
but
drops like
they could
Overwatch
do,
does it.
Yeah, they could do Overwatch supply drops, or they could even start doing what Fortnite's doing with their
Pinata.
Yeah, with their store.
store, their
I
item store.
really am a big
where they
fan.
just
I'm okay with microtransactions when it's you know what you're buying.
right, especially in the Fortnite sense, because they'll show the featured items and then they'll show daily items. And you already know that those featured and daily items will be back a second time, or maybe even a third or fourth time.
I just feel cheated. I just don't like the system. Like Overwatch does loot boxes, but with Overwatch, I never feel like
You know, like
I'm
what
missing
does-
out on something
yes.
because I'm not buying them.
You
I just
you
feel
know
like I need to
what
play
will
more.
eventually be given to you, and
Right.
they made it a system where you don't feel like you need to.
Right, and even if you don't get it, you can get the credits over time and you can buy it anyways.
yeah,
It's I never feel like I'm missing out if I don't buy Overwatch loot drops, but in Call of Duty, even in Advanced Warfare when it all started,
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have things just because I wasn't spending money on supply drops. Like they didn't come fast enough, you didn't get them fast enough. It wasn't very rewarding.
Yeah.
It was just
I
it
think
messed with the system too much.
After all that like whole like gambling scandal that like all the games faced with like their loot box system and supply drops.
Like T Martin and like you remember that?
Well, no, there was a different one where like the
Oh, it was like if it was gambling.
is it
like,
considered
is
gambling?
loot
yeah. I
box.
think Hawaii's like pushed into
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
There are other countries around that are doing that too. They were looking at Overwatch's system. I don't think Overwatch's system is necessarily gambling. I think Call of Duty's is because you could spend close to $100 and not get anything out of Call of Duty's. But
Oh, yeah.
like
You
in
can
Overwatch's and all the other games,
even if you
can
get
get
duplicates.
something. Yeah, you can
You
get
get
duplicates.
something.
Even if you get duplicates, you get credits back, and you get credits anyways from the supply
And you'll
drops.
barely get duplicates out of Overwatch's,
Especially
system
now,
anymore.
Yeah, that's
when they
because they
fixed
had
it.
the update. Call of Duty, you could open up like
5 supply drops and get the same thing.
yeah, you could. It's just all random. You could get the same exact stuff every
And
single time.
Overwatch does it almost. One of the other things that makes it seem more worth it to me is that because Overwatch does events, some things are exclusive, so it gives you an incentive to play more anyways.
And
'cause
Call of
there's an
Duty
event
does
going
that as
on.
well, but I don't think
It's not the
they
same.
do it to
They
the
do it.
It's
best
not to the
degree.
extent. And
They
it's
do
not
it to where you would have to pay money. You can't do it all like on your own
right.
without any money. You would have to like spend so that you can get all that other
See,
stuff.
Overwatch gives you avenues. You just play, you get loot boxes every time you level up. You
Yeah.
play arcade, you get your arcade loot boxes per game, like when you win the certain amount of games.
Call of Duty, it's all random. Like for Advanced Warfare, it was kind of like you'd get them at certain times. For
Right, I don't
World
even.
War-
I still to this day, after playing so much Advanced Warfare, never understood when you got supply
World War
drops.
II, you'll get them eventually. I don't even know, but at the end of every game, there'll be a lobby that shows up with like all the players' names, and it'll be like supply drops given this game, and it'll be like 1, 2, 3, or like whatever, and then it'll just randomly go along the line, and then it'll just randomly give supply drops to people.
It's not even a.
It's
Not
not
even
even
like an
like
actual
a,
system.
It's not even like, oh, I did the best in the lobby.
That's
like,
that's literally.
I got like
gambling.
yeah, I got
Like it just
50
decides,
kills.
do I want to be nice to this person or this person?
I got like 50 kills with like 5 deaths and did the most for my team. And then my name shows up, and then the 2 people like surrounding me will get the supply drops, but I won't, even though I did the absolute best in the
Yeah,
lobby.
I don't like that at all. I don't like the whole trend of random like microtransactions and people feeling like that's what they have to do with the game. I
Yeah.
just don't. And they still.
Sea of
Call of
Thieves
Duty
is
still-
doing pretty well and it doesn't need microtransactions.
Yeah.
I don't think there's actually any that
They
I think
aren't
of right
in the
now.
game yet. No, and they're going to add them. Sea of Thieves is doing 3 months of just the game as is, and then they're adding stuff to the game, which I think is fine. I think gives people a chance to do everything they can in the base game. And then once they feel it starts getting endgamey, then they'll start updating it. I think Sea of Thieves is going to be a really community game too,
Yeah.
which I'm excited for because I know I'll play the crap out of it probably.
Good, he doesn't show up.
I think the main thing a lot of people think about like Call of Duty and why it doesn't do well is because of all the like the variant types. It used to be just like camos, you know, like they used to just have like
Yeah.
It used to be all cosmetic, but like you could seriously just buy your camo pack for all the guns, like in Black Ops 2, how you could just buy any.
Yeah,
camo
and
you
I
wanted.
remember that. I was thinking about that actually.
And seriously, for such a low price for every gun in the game, it was so nice.
Yeah, it was not that big of a deal to
Um,
me.
And once they added in like all the character customization, and then you wanted to look the best on your
Yeah.
team, and if you just didn't have anything,
Well,
you just
because
looked-
the stepping stone was Ghost when they started you being able to like change what your character was wearing and like
yeah,
stuff like that. Once you could do that, it was just
Downhill from there.
yeah.
but
I was about to say.
for Ghost sense,
Did Ghost have supply drops?
no, Advanced
I
Warfare
was
was,
about
the
to
only
say.
game that had.
I was
supply
about that
drops.
was the one to introduce it because Ghost introduced the customization. Then they were like, we're taking it to the next level, and like supply drops was introduced as like this cool like variants are gonna be so cool. It's gonna make gameplay so. But it was just whoever has the best variant was
Is
just,
gonna
like,
dominate,
has an
and,
advantage, and,
yeah.
like it was stupid. It was not a good system.
And that's how it is for World War II. Like the variants don't really,
Do they affect?
they don't affect the guns.
No. Okay.
Not from what I remember playing, but I know Infinite Warfare's did. Infinite Warfare had
I know
the
Infinite Warfare.
same exact system.
Well, I
as
played
Advanced
some
Warfare.
Infinite Warfare,
Yeah.
and I'll give it that even too. Infinite Warfare, I think it was fun, and it was fun. It's just
Yeah,
that there's
it's
so much going on, so much with the futuristic setting, so much with the way COD, like the design, the way COD is gone, like the map design, and so much with the supply drops. It just all combined. It's too much. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's not. There's none of the simplicity that Call of Duty used to have, and there's none of. It's not. Nothing is consistent because there's a million different variants, and the way variants work in that game is ridiculous. Like you can get like gear, and like there's like variants of the variants. There's like variants of the variants that have variants, and it's like
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
Literally, no person has one same gun because there's so many different attributes, and the system is so convoluted to
Yeah.
me. The whole system is bad. Loot drops need to be, or like loot boxes, supply drops need to be removed from
Yeah.
everything. I
Yeah.
think games that have them in them are. Like,
I think a
destroying
better
the
way to
system.
do it is sort of like Overwatch's credit system, where you could get a list of tasks,
Yeah.
like each day or each week. Like you
Fortnite
could
does
have
that.
daily, weekly, or whatever.
Especially Fortnite with the whole battle pass thing. You can just get.
I like the way. Fortnite
I
handles that, too.
love the battle pass. You can seriously $25 and then you can get everything if you just play. If you just play,
Yeah. So
And
like
then
it's a
it's not- it's
worthwhile
not even
investment.
$25.
they
if
tell you
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 play
can
it a
get to
lot.
tier 7. It was for season 2 it was tier 70, for season 3 it's tier 100. If you put in 75 hours to 150 hours, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Depending on it's not even depending on if you win the games or you lose them. If you
Well,
just
and
put
would you
in
say
that
you've
much
played
time-
If
it
you
for that
just put
much
in
time?
the time.
I think I've played it for less because I bought the $25 edition.
Right, yeah, and Battle Pass you don't have
And then
to
also
buy
they added in all the
$25
weekly
edition.
challenges. So if you just play the weekly challenges, you can get them done within like an hour or two if you seriously just play to get the weekly challenges done.
Right. And if not, then you'll get them done as you're casually playing.
Right.
This is the final topic I want to move on to before we got to wrap this up. Do you think they're going to continue with like development of the normal Fortnite story?
They kind of are, but I don't think.
I thought I heard that got like put on. The,
I figured it got
It's
put on
not-
side.
It's not their
but it's not, like-
priority.
It's not like
but-
dead.
It's not dead. Like
I
there's
have
still
never,
people.
I've never played it. I don't really know
Yeah.
how.
Well, I mean, because
if
you
it-
still have to pay
is
money
it
for
good?
it.
Have you played it?
I've wanted to play it, but then I thought like when it would go into closed beta, that would mean like, oh, people could start playing it. No, I don't think it goes free to play until like
Oh yeah, well yeah, I know the whole game is gonna be free to play.
sometime soon.
Yeah.
But it's basically this is a thing. Defend it for a couple rounds.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna
I knew it
expand
was like
it
one
more.
of those survival defense things.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna expand it more.
Yeah, to have like a whole storyline and stuff.
Yeah, and then
because apparently there was a lot of people who were excited for that Fortnite game.
I
Like, a lot of
was
people were
excited for that
expecting
Fortnite game. I remember seeing it.
I
a long
thought it
time
was.
ago.
I think I remember seeing something about it and thinking it was gonna be cool too. But
And then it like disappeared for a couple years. I'm like, oh, whatever happened to that game? And then Game Informer was like, yo, this is coming back.
Yeah.
Like,
and when
sweet.
they added the battle, it just seemed like after that
And then everything changed when the battle
How
royale
could you?
mode
How,
comes.
as a developer, could you reasonably say we're going to devote more time to this than this when this is making so much?
Right.
Just everything, giving you so much publicity as a developer. As
Yeah,
a
I mean, it's
game.
getting like worldwide news now. Like,
so money.
Yeah.
everyone's talking about the game.
And just like everything about it, everything about the content creators surrounding it, it's all so good for Fortnite. And what it's like, I forget what the mode is, like the original mode.
Player versus everyone.
Yeah. It's
Or
like
survive the
survive the night or something.
survive the storm, whatever.
Something. The
Save the
original
world?
mode.
Save the world. Save the world.
Save the world. is the
There's a
original
theory
mode.
going around that Fortnite takes place on Venus.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw the game theory.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was gonna watch that game theory,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
It's yeah. He suggests that it's taking place on Venus instead of Earth because they never mention the word Earth. They say this
I
mysterious.
mean, look at the
world.
sky and look at the storm.
Well, yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
They
that's-
think that it's acid
Venus
rain.
probably has electric storms.
They have acid rain,
Which
and
will
that's why the storm
generate.
hurts you because the pH
time.
of the acid rain on there is 1.
Yeah.
So it'll like decay your skin, and that's why they say like
It's
That's why I
are
said-
things that are closer to 14. Okay, so I know that the like pH is 0 to
0 to 14.
14.
7 is neutral. 14 are bases.
14
So-
are the bases and
and
0 is
0 is
acid.
the acid.
The acid, like the really
They have
acid
more
acid.
hydrogen atoms,
And
within
then,
them, and then
like-
that can burn your skin and all that and decay it.
Bases,
Acid-
bases
battery
can
acid
be
is like 1.
bases can be acidic, like not acidic. They're not acidic, but they can have similar effects. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
it's like-
things that are bases are like
Metals.
Yeah.
like baking soda is a base.
Yeah.
Baking soda is a base. Like things that are really basic, like bleach. Bleach is not an acid. Bleach is a base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have they can have similar effects. Like what to the extreme ends of the spectrum, they don't do the same thing, but they have the same like ultimate. I don't know why we're talking about pH and chemistry.
We got into the game theory, and it just went out of control. And before we wrap this up, you guys see that trash can over there? You guys can't see it on the camera, but there's like a trash can all the way across the studio.
Yeah.
Do you think I can throw this all the way over there?
I'm gonna
Try
say
it.
no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote no. But
All right.
Try.
Probably not. Yay! Missed.
Can I go get it?
Well, I think we should.
I think
wrap
that's
up
our
here.
end point for
All right.
today. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We hope to see you more on the Spicy Meme Boys podcast. And I meant to have a whole section about like how March has been good for memes. And that'll wait until next time. All right. See you all next time. All right.